Vandeham Shivaro Shivatapadamlam Shivuru Vishwamsha Shirupam Sagarjatam Sagana Raghunatham Tam Tam Sadivam Sadhutam Savadutam Pajana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Nutta Shri Shakavatam Sa Namo Shapadaya Krishna Vishamutile Shrimate Mukti Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Sani Vishesha Srimadi Pasta Destani Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prabhadate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Nam Navadsima He Krishna Karma Sindhu Dinvadu Pate Gopsa Gopradanta Radhamantam Sate Satkanchan Gaurangi Sirade Vrindavaneshwari Vishmahani Sita Devi Pranamami Haripriya Nirajani Masa Nikta Paramatma Bhagavatar Shubhadarabhyam Jagannathaya Chanam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. So, we were in which verse? Do you remember the verse? I think we have to start 16th. Chapter number 16 as far as I remember. So 16, chapter number 16 is called Devasur Sampati Yoga. Because as we had learned that after Krishna describes about the Aswatha tree, the banyan tree, Arjuna was curious to know about the good and bad fruits. So now Lord describes about good and bad fruits. So this chapter number 16 is called Devasur Sampad Yoga, qualities of devotee and demon. So in this chapter, saintly and demonic qualities, as well as the results of these two conditions, they are described. So we'll begin with the first one. So first, saintly or divine qualities are described. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Abhyam Satya Samsuddhir Jnana Yoga Vavastiti Danam Damasya Yagyasa Swadhyayastapa Arjavam Ahimsa Sattama Krodhas Tyaga Santirapeshanam Daya Bhuteswalo Luptam Mardavam Hira Chapalam Teja Chamadhriti Socham Adroho Mati Manita Avanti Sampadam Devim Abhijatasya Bharata. Please read the translation.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthlessness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to the godly men endowed with divine nature. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So in this particular verses, these divine qualities are mentioned, but they are also according to one's varna and ashram. Because a quality in a particular varna is condemned in the other varna. Like forgiveness is very much praised for Brahmanas. But Kshatriyas cannot forgive everyone. Especially those who are culprits, they are supposed to discipline them. Those who are surrendered, they can forgive them. So in this way, first line, Abhyam Satya Samsuddhir Jnana Yoga Vastiti. This is for sannyasis. So these are qualities of sannyasis. So sannyasis are supposed to be fearless. Like they are not supposed to be fearful. Oh, how will I live alone in the forest? I have no wife and children who will take care of me if I become sick. So if sannyasi has such a thought, then he cannot take sannyas. Then Sattva Sansati. Sansati means purity of consciousness. This consciousness is supposed to be very, very pure. And then Jnana Yoga Vastiti. Being completely familiar with the methods of attaining Jnana. So whatever was spoken, 13.8 to 12, the qualities of Jnana. So he should have all these qualities. So these are the qualities of a sannyasi. For grasthas, it is danam, damas, cha yagyasya. So dana, this would be very charitable in terms of distributing food or other items of enjoyment. Something which they can enjoy is sacrifice for the sake of others. This is the quality of grastha. Dana. Then comes dhamma. Dhamma means controlling the external senses. Like using the senses for Krishna service, not using them for sense gratification, etc. etc. That's jnana. Then yajna. Yajna means worship of the Lord, especially in Kali Yuga, it is Sangeeta yajna. So grasthas have to every day take out some time for doing some kirtan in the home. Yajnas. So damasa yajnas. So these are the qualities of a grastha. Dhanam, damas, yajna. Then quality of brahmachari is only one thing is given, that is swadhyaya. Reciting scripture or studying scripture. These are the quality of a brahmachari. Because brahmachari basically means student life. So student is supposed to study. Then tapa and arjavam. These are the qualities of vanaprastha. So long you enjoyed nicely in grastha life. Now you should do some tapasya. Do some austerity. So that your senses are purified. And arjava means simplicity. Because in grastha life, some sort of duplicity is required. Like a Western cannot tell that now how much profit I make. They say no, I practically make no profit at all. Similarly, when you want to get your daughter married, you have to tell as if no, she is rather Rani herself. See this quality, that quality, so many qualities. Rest of the things are revealed later on after the marriage. So then they need to do some sort of duplicity. But vanaprastha, he should be very simple, arjava. So he cannot be. Yeah. Then ahimsa, satyam, akrodha, tyaga, santiraprasana, daya, bhutesu, aploluttam, mardam, hi achaplam. These are the qualities of a brahmana. So second verse talks about the qualities of a brahmana. So what are these qualities? Ahimsa. Ahimsa means not hurting anyone by your body, mind and senses. And Prabhupada says that ahimsa also means preaching. Because not preaching is hinsa. Because when we are violent towards anyone, he feels pain. But in this world, in order to suffer, you don't have to do anything. People are already suffering. So by preaching, you can bring them out of suffering. So that is why those who don't preach, they actually create violence. They do violence for others. So ahimsa. Then satyam, they are supposed to be truthful. If they are truthful, people can have faith on them. If they are not truthful, people can't have faith on them. Then akrodhas, one should not be angry. Tyagaha. Tyagaha means it's not external tyag, because Brahmana means he is a grastha. So he should have gave up that possessive mentality towards wife, children, other things. So that is actual tyag, which he is supposed to do. Tyagaha. Then santir. Santir means basically tranquility of mind. So mind has to be in tranquility. that mind is agitated all the time. So that's Tyaga, Santir. Then apassionam. Apassionam means aversion to fault finding. He doesn't find fault with others. He's very busy finding fault with himself, not finding with others. So that's apassionam. Daya is merciful. Merciful to all the living entities by giving them Vedic knowledge. Aluluktam. Aluluktam means absence of greed. He's not greedy. He's satisfied with whatever comes on its own accord. He's happy with that. Aluluktam. Mardava means he's gentle. Gentle behavior is there. Here means modest. Modesty is there. And achapalam. Achapalam means he's very determined. Determined to follow his vows. Determined to lead a Brahminical life. Because Brahmana generally live a life of poverty. So if he's not determined, he can't continue with the Brahman life. And for Kshatriya, it is Teja, Shama, Dhritihi. These three are the qualities of a Kshatriya. Teja means vigor. So they are, as soon as they are there, you can feel their presence. So they have that vigor. Like certain devotees would say that whenever Tamal Krishna Maharaj was around, everybody know that he's present, he's there. So because he's from that royal family. So Teja. Shama. Shama means forgiveness. So whenever somebody surrenders to them, then they forgive. But if there is a culprit, then he punishes. And Dhriti. Dhriti means fortitude. Now because you have to manage the whole kingdom, take care of subjects, deal with politics, so do so many things. So fortitude is very much required. For Vaisyas, it is Socham and Adroho. So cleanliness, because generally Vaisyas means the place where lot of transport is going on. Goods are coming, goods are leaving. So then there are a lot of tendency for becoming unclean. But Vaisya means he should be clean. And Adroho also is a freedom from envy, because generally those who are businessmen, for them to have that competitive mentality, no, they use envy. Oh, I want to defeat this person, put down that person. But Adro means you are not envious of other person. So difficult. But they have these qualities. Mati manita. Na ati manita basically. With no expectation of honor. It is a quality of a Sudra. Because if he wants honor and prestige, then he cannot work under a master. Master will ridicule you, speak sharp words in order to get the work done. So then such a person, he cannot expect any honor, expectation of honor. So Bhavanti Sampadam Devi Abhijatasya Bharata. And these qualities are visible from Abhijatasya, from the birth itself. So that's why earlier the samskaras would be done in order to understand whether person has attraction for Srimad Bhagavatam, then he's a Brahmana. If he has attraction for money, he's a Vaisya. If he has attraction for weapons, child has attraction for weapons, then he's a Kshatriya. So in this way, these qualities were known from before. So these are they come from childhood. Similarly, even demonic qualities also come from childhood. So now from 4th onwards, Krishna starts speaking from demonic qualities.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. One question is there. Can I?
Yeah.
Prabhuji, in this purport regarding the Varnashrama Dharma, it's mentioned, Prabhuji. Generally, I understand Varnashrama means like a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, Varnas. Ashrama means Brahmachari, Grostha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi. But in our ISKCON congregation,
Srila Prabhupada used to mention that we need to bring more Brahmanas, right? So here in our congregation, so all are Brahmanas or different Varnas also will come? That's my question.
See, Brahmana means Prabhupada would say Brahminical culture.
Okay.
Brahminical culture means cultivating mode of goodness. So somebody may be brahmachari, grasta, vanprastha, sannyasi, or Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, they all should cultivate mode of goodness. That's called Brahminical culture. So Prabhupada won't say Brahmana, Prabhupada will say Brahminical culture.
No, Brahmanical culture. I'm sorry, my word. I take my word back. Yeah, Brahmanical culture. But here, so we have Varnashrama, Varnas here, not Ashrama, Varnas here in the congregation.
Means main thing is if somebody is following the work of Brahmana, there are devotees.
Can you?
See, there are devotees who are like, no, they just want to lead the life by doing samskaras. So they go house to house and do samskaras. They are leading a Brahminical life. Mayapur, there are many devotees who just do teaching in Mayapur Institute. And they don't derive any salary. Whatever comes, like, no, whatever donation is given, they survive on that. So there are a lot of Brahminical devotees. There are devotees who are into administration, politics, etc. But certainly current administrators more of Sudras because there's no monarchy today. But then we have Vaishyas, we have a lot of devotees who do business. And those who do job, they're generally counted as Sudras. So we do have Varna also. Is it clear?
Yeah, Prabhupada. Thank you.
So we have the Varnasana here also. But all of us have to cultivate Brahminical qualities, whatever Varna we may be.
Yeah, it's clear, Guruji. Thank you.
Okay. So now we'll go to Asuric qualities. Dambo, Darpo, Abhimanascha, Krodha, Paryusamevacha, Ajnanam Chabijatasya, Partha, Sampada, Masuri. Please read.
Pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demonic nature, O son of brother Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So then, now Lord talks about, earlier Lord was talking about the bondage of fruits of liberation. Now he's talking about fruits of bondage. What are they? Dambha. Dambha means to announce oneself as religious even though one has sinful nature. This person may be sinful, but he wants to show as if no, he's very religious. And many times people do so many sins in the name of religion. So you'll find many times in certain religion, so recently one fellow was caught up speaking giving some remarks, etc. of a particular religion. And then later on they found, so he was a big saint in their religion. And later on when they discovered, they found that he was caught up in so many criminal cases. He had done so many murders. So then such people, they are very sinful, but then they pose as if no, they are very religious. So this is called Dambha. Darpa. Darpa means one is pride due to wealth, knowledge, etc. That's called Darpa. So this is something which you have. And Abhiman means desiring respect. Desiring respect from others. So that's called Abhiman. Or one has attachment to excessive possessive nature towards wives, sons, etc. That's also called Abhiman. Krodha means anger. Paros means cruelty. So such people are very cruel. They don't feel others' pain. When others are in pain, they don't feel it. They are very selfish and they're just concerned about themselves. So nowadays, especially, we find many people, they take pleasure when animals are getting killed. So I personally seen some of my friends. Oh, one fellow was killing the animals and he was seeing and enjoying. That's a cruelty. Agyan means lack of discrimination. One doesn't discriminate about what is right, what is wrong. No, whatever the one feels like, one does that. One doesn't refer to scriptures at all. So these are qualities of asuras. So they are qualities who are rajasic qualities and tamasic qualities, and they are visible from very childhood of a person. So from childhood only we can observe it, because these qualities have been coming from the past life. Now those who don't believe in past life can understand that, but that is how we understand that there is a past life. That's how some kids are, by childhood they are very divine, some of them are very cruel. Like I was sitting in train with some people of other religion, and they were like condemning. They were very angry to see that now I have become a brahmachari. So they're saying, no, this is the greatest sin to the God, to become a celibate. So they're really, really heavily chastising me. And then after some time, this lady told to the husband, he was saying that even in our religion, I don't understand certain things. They say that children are come from heavens, but this fellow, he's stealing from childhood and doing all naughty things and no creating so much troubles in the home. Doesn't look like no son of God. So avijatasya. So these things come from childhood. So there's a proof that there is a past life. So this verse also says, Agyana cha avijatasya partha sampada masuri. So as soon as Arjun hears that, Arjuna becomes very fearful. He says that, my dear Lord, I think I have all these asura qualities, which lead to the bondage in samsara. So earlier I would cruelly kill my enemies by shooting them with arrows. And now I'm ready to kill my relatives also, family members also. So then to comfort Arjuna, Krishna speaks text 5. And don't worry. Devi sampada vimokshaya nibandhya surimata ma sucha sampadam devim abhijatu api asi pandava. Please read.
The transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation, whereas the demonic qualities make for bondage. Do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with the divine qualities. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah. So Krishna says, Ma sucha, don't worry. So don't worry, my dear Pandava. Why? Sampadam devim abhijatu asi Pandava. You are born with divine qualities. So for those who are Kshatriya, anger and cruelty during war is prescribed. Because unless until you are angry with the enemy, how can you shoot him? So it is prescribed in the scriptures. So there's nothing wrong in that. So one may have passion, but when passion is directed towards dharma, that passion is purified. Rather, not doing it during the time of war is considered asuric. Because it's the time when you're supposed to show your cruelty for protecting the citizens. So possessing violence and other bad qualities, they are condemned outside the battlefield, but they're recommended inside the battlefield. So that's why they are Devi quality, they're not asuric. So don't worry. And already you are born in from a divine nature. So that's why there's nothing wrong in that. And then further he says, Dva bhuta sargo loke asmin deva asura evacha devo vistarasa prokta asuram partha mention. Please read.
O son of Partha, in this world there are two kinds of created beings. One is called divine, another demonic. I have already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me the demonic qualities. Hare Krishna. Demonic.
Now Krishna starts speaking of dual asuric qualities to the despondent Arjuna. He was thinking, oh, maybe I have. So then Krishna starts speaking in detail that actually these are the details of asura qualities. You don't have all these asura qualities. So then he starts speaking to Arjuna. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha jana na vidura asura na socham na pichacharo na sattam tesu vidyate. Please read.
Those who are demonic do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So then such people, they don't know what is pravrittim is dharma, what is adharma. They are not aware of that. They remain unclean both from inside and outside. Like we find nowadays the culture is that people don't take bath, they just put deodorants over them. So, and all the spoiled fruit in the name of wine comes and they enjoy it like anything. So that is how people are very unclean nowadays. So not similar truth is also not found in them. So such people don't know what is to be done, what is not to be done, what is dharma, what is adharma. They're totally unaware of that. So then such people, they fall into the category of demonic quality. So general tendency that they don't want to follow. So Prabhupada writes that Manu Samhita talks about how one should behave as a human being. So like Prabhupada writes that Manu Samhita is given that now women should be protected. Childhood by father, young age by husband, and old age by the elder son. But that doesn't mean they are kept as slaves. They are protected. It's a protection for them, but they may be cheated otherwise. And then Prabhupada writes that, but nowadays, modern education has unnecessarily puffed up them. That's why marriage has become an imagination in human society. So what pravritti and nivitti is given in Manu Samhita, and nowadays people don't follow that. Okay. Susukha Arjunpur. And then Sitaram. Prabhu, you are not audible to me somehow. Just a minute, I have to see.
No, Prabhu, we can't hear you.
We can't hear. Susukha Arjunpur. Maybe you use headphone.
Yeah, low voice only, but it's audible.
How about now, Prabhu? Is that audible?
Now it is audible.
No,
Very
it's-
much audible.
Yeah, Prabhu, like we were saying, like from the first shloka, how the divine qualities and the demonic qualities. So there, basically, we also saw about the samskaras and all. So even though if samskaras is not followed also, sometimes, we say that from the family tradition, how the family is, basically the parents are the devotees means certainly, we can find such qualities from the kids also. And there are some demonic means, that is how we can compare at least, demonic means those who are parents are very cruel, such kind of a children also naturally, that is how we see. But there are some instances, even though the devotees, kids there, we can find, so there are certain demonic qualities from the devotee children also. And at the same time, even from the non-devotees, there are, we can find a lot of good qualities, out of 5, we can see in most of the families, which I saw, one person will be very good qualities, and certainly that person will be literally struggling also, just because he born in that such kind of a families. So how to understand this, Prabhu? Like,
So it's not parents' mentality only. It is also Garbhadhan Samskar. So during the time of union, if the Garbhadhan Samskar is followed properly and people meditate on good qualities, one gets a good child. And it might happen that no, there may be some very cruel and demonic people, but they may be returning from Tirupati, their mind has become very divine for a few days. And then they had a Garbhadhan Samskar and they got a divine child.
Okay.
And also there's one thing, one aspect. Another aspect is also the law of karma.
Sorry,
Found out?
Prabhu?
Law of karma.
Okay. Mhm.
Now, according to one's karma, if someone is supposed to suffer with a cruel child who is really supposed to purify you of your past sins,
Mhm.
then one will get such a child.
Mhm.
He may be committing such activities, that you are supposed to go to jail and get some beatings there. So then he takes you to jail. He opens the door to the jail. So then there's also law of karma from the past life. So Garbhadam sanskar is there, past life karma is there. So one thing is that by good samskaras, one can attract a good soul.
Mhm.
But then there are also karmana devanitrena. One is things are ordained by higher powers.
Mhm.
Similarly, child may be very divine, but then he deserves to struggle in a demonic family so that he gets purified of his karma. So then one is born there. So main thing is there are a lot of mixed things are, many factors are there. It's not just one factor. So many factors are there which come in picture. Like in the case of Maharaj Nabhi. No, not Nabhi. Veena's father, what was his name? Nabhi only? I forgot his name. So he was like such a great devotee of the Lord, but Sunita Garma Sambhava, but his wife is daughter of death personified.
Mhm.
So that's why Veena was born. Because generally son gets the mentality and qualities of the grandfather, maternal grandfather,
Mhm.
and daughter gets the qualities of paternal grandfather, means father side.
Father said who?
Father side.
Okay.
So that psychology is there. So that
Mhm.
psychology comes in picture.
Mhm. And Prabhu, like in the samskaras, if I'm just asking you, if they would have done a lot of charity, and the kid would have got a lot of blessings from a lot of pure Vaishnavas and all, certainly true. So will there be an impact on that also, Prabhu?
That impact is there, but main thing is that's not the only factor. See, sometimes child may be born with the divine qualities, but then later on he comes across some demonic people, he associates with them and he becomes degraded.
Okay.
Or a child may be born from a very demonic quality, but then he comes across the son of devotees and gets purified. So something is like startup.
Mhm.
But then how even to proceed for the whole life, there are many factors which come in picture.
Mhm.
Like for all of us also, Anga was Veena's father. So Anga was a great devotee, but then his wife was son of a death personified. Sorry, daughter of a son death personified. So then Veena was born. So a lot of factors which come in picture. And not only just divine quality, demonic quality, it's like also the environment. Certain environments impels us to exhibit our demonic qualities. Certain environment impels us to have divine qualities. So different environment also find different things.
Mhm.
Like for us also, we must have seen sometimes we behave differently in different environments.
Mhm.
So environment where a lot of sense gratification is going on, then one may also become sense gratified.
Mhm.
And where devotees are there chanting Hare Krishna, one may just be chanting Hare Krishna. So a lot of factors which come in picture. It is mixture of modes. Karanam good sangha says Sadasati Vinyanas.
Mhm.
So what we can do is we should try our best. That's all.
And also this knowledge of the samskaras, and actually now with the current situation, we find, especially when we go out for preaching, and we see people, it's day by day it is degrading actually. So we can find, people, even if we can just compare 30 years back, not required to go for previous ages and all. Some 20, 30 years back, it was not something new actually. It was, but nowadays even the simple things it's becoming. So in such kind of a things, things becomes very difficult. Like even the leadership wise, they are also demonic. So such kind of phenomena, like how, what can be done for like,
See, individually and institutionally, we can create some facilities for devotees to study, and we can have good schools.
mhm,
And individually, as a parents, we have to take care of the children as far as possible. But beyond the level, we can't help,
mhm.
because the education system itself is,
Correct.
it influences a person. Like what to say of that, even state-wise also I've seen. State-wise, if you see, now it's not like a blunt remark as such, but what you have seen in, if you see in Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Bengal, Bihar, Northeast, some of the states are there.
Mhm.
So in these states, the syllabus and environment of school itself is pretty, you can say, non-Vedic. People are taught a little bit a sort of hatred towards religion,
Mhm.
towards Vedic culture. So then such people, they do have sort of hatred for the Vedic culture. But whereas we find in the North Indian regions, certain regions like Haryana, Rajasthan, and UP, etc. So there the environment of school and the syllabus itself is pretty religious. So then people have that sort of background. So it's not that only kids are there with us, they're also with their friends and the school.
Mhm.
So that is going to influence them.
Mhm.
That's why one of the things which I was trying for some time, but I found I don't have much energy, is to make our own syllabus. Somehow devotees are working, but my health failed after that. So I couldn't do that. But if some devotees can pick it up, then it would be like a good service for the congregation.
Mhm.
So then we have to see, it's not that we are giving sanskaras, even the outside also they are getting some sanskaras.
Mhm.
So then we have to see how much we can avoid.
Mhm. Like one more question, like, like a parental situation now, in a lot of dilemma, bro. Like, like schools, we are pretty, aware that, whatever the education system is, everything is corrected. So in that case, when we go out for counseling or senior devotees, sometimes they suggest we have to be practical also. So they have to be sent in that case. And in that case, internally, we are not happy also sending them to that school. So in that case, if we are very much determined, that, one day individually I cannot do anything. So I just take care, this one. And later point of time, it becomes challenging, like, fearful situation for the parent also, if it doesn't happen, because we don't have any schools as such as well, even within our communities as well. So in that case, what is the best thing as a parent can be done? Is that okay to?
See, we have to see, it's like, if we can create some sort of facility, like for example, in Vrindavan, they have this CBSE board school is there. So they're not CBSE, SSC board school. We have this Bhakti Vedanta National School. No, not National School. Bhakti National School is in Mayapur. The one which is there. Gurukul is
Vrindavan,
there.
yes, we have, yeah.
Gurukul is there. BIGS.
Mhm.
So they have, so that they're teaching both the things. Good samskaras also, this also.
Mhm.
Or our devotees can start something like online school or something. Actually, see, what you're speaking, I had all these ideas. Only thing is, I'm not getting time to do all these things. Making our own syllabus, doing some online schooling, etc.
Mhm.
So we have to estimate. When we say practical, we have to estimate both the things. Our children should not become so much like Vedic, they become useless for the outside world. That's certainly one angle. Another angle is it's not happen that they become so degraded that they anyway become useless for outside world and also for inside world.
Mhm.
So both the things have to be seen and estimated. And things are different in different places. Like one of the observations which I have is students from the towns, they are more well in cracking the entrance exam than those who are in metro cities. If you see the number, those who crack IIT or those who crack this medical exams, they're more from the towns than from the cities and very less from the metro cities. So many times people think that no, if we stay in the metro cities, we will have very good education for our children. But we have to see the statistics. It's not like that.
Okay. Mhm.
Like no, I think there are more students who get into IITG from our small city called Jhansi in UP than from Calcutta. So it's not that no, only when you teach them in a very opulent and good big schools and big environment, do they become educated. It's not like that. So then everybody needs some sort of control over mind and senses in order to study and succeed even in the material life. So we have to estimate it like that. It's not like things are black and white. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Because even our devotees are many times swept away by this wind of economic development. So economic development is required as much as needed, but not like dedicate your whole life for that. Okay, Sita Ram Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavad Pranam. Am I audible, Prabhu?
Yes, audible. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, okay. Prabhu, here in the purport we have read that regarding the Manusmriti that it has been says about very low values about the woman. So when we go out, no, so people like, of course, I also haven't read. They might also have not read, but they might have heard like the Manusmriti and all. It is it gives very degraded value for the woman. So this is all trash and all. So how do we understand the current context and how to counter those kind of interactions, Prabhu?
Manusmriti has to be understood from proper parampara, not by any Tom, Dick and Harry. And especially Manusmriti, many of the versions are by Western people who have written wrong versions in order to show a wrong picture of Manusmriti. So we don't have to hear about Manusmriti from stupid fellows. No, there is a stupid lady whose books are there and taught in the universities. She's so foolish. She says that Varnasana means Varna means color. So those who have white color skin, they are Brahmanas. Those who have red color skin are the Kshatriyas. Those who have no brown skin are the Vaisyas, and those who have black skin are the Sudras. So such stupid things are taught to these people. And when people read such stupid things, no, then they also have a wrong version of Manusmriti. So Manusmriti doesn't talk law about women. Manusmriti talks about practicality of understanding the innocence of a woman. Like children are not low. Children are innocent. So when children are innocent, they have to be protected. Similarly, women are not low. Women are innocent. So women have to be protected. So like children can be cheated easily if they have like 2,000 rupees note and somebody gives one chocolate. Oh, take this chocolate, give me the note. They easily give. They don't understand that by 2,000 rupees we can get so many chocolates. Similarly, our ladies also, they're because innocent, so they can be cheated very easily. So since they can be cheated very easily, they have to be protected. So it's not talking low, it's talking about innocence. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So the problem is nowadays, especially the versions of scriptures, at least by Acharya's mercy, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam now we have good commentaries for them. But rest of the scriptures which are not touched by our Vaishnava Acharyas, such third-class commentaries are there. Third-class commentaries. Can't even. And foolish people, many times people who have no touch of Vedic culture, they're from the Western background. So they give commentaries. Many times it's funded by the other religious organizations to misinterpret the scriptures. So they might have done degrees from big universities in the West. But then it is a properly planned to put down the Vedic culture. And often people go through these books. So that's a problem.
Yes, Prabhu, I understand that. But then one question arises for me is like, then why some acharyas in India, at least someone should have told that this is not the correct way to interpret. Nobody has, I haven't seen any counter
No.
explanation.
Prabhupada would condemn it like anything. And anybody who knows Sanskrit, they condemn these versions like anything.
Okay.
So I personally know so many people, not only just in ISKCON, even outside also.
Okay.
There's a lady called Puspa Dikshit. Practically for her, every second lecture would be a punch on these people. She got award from president. I think something like, not Bharat Ratna, but some award of that category. So she's well-known scholar of Sanskrit. So anybody who is aware of Vedic culture and they know Sanskrit and they're truthful, these people condemn these versions like anything. Only thing is they're never highlighted by the media, because many times media is also biased. That is the reason.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare
Thank
Krishna,
you.
Prabhu. For devotees, becoming it's a big challenge. Those who are working in external companies, nowadays every corporate company, the endeavor is that they want to make a 50% ratio of men and women. And whenever we see that kind of policies, whenever we go for recruitment panel, I always feel that they are not understand the roots of the human race. So this is always, it's a big pain. The certain times, they think that they know everything, they are capable of everything, but we see practically everyone agrees it also, they can't deliver, but still, because of this information is not there with the external world, they think that they can do anything. We are not less than any man, we are more than men. Like that, they will take charge and they'll fire on us.
See, this is called innocence actually. This is called innocence. Innocence means however you train them, they get trained in that way. So that's cheated very easily. Otherwise, you ask from any woman, generally, it's not their nature to go and fight with the outside world. They like the service of assisting. Like man generally doesn't want to be assistant. That's not the psychology of men. But women in general want to assist. It's their nature. So that nature is there within them. So truly speaking, I ask from many Matajis in congregation, those who are working, and they did agree. That we don't want it, somehow we are doing it. So either the reason is we have studied so much for so many years, what to do now? How can we not work? Second reason is they have some fear that husband will not give me money. So I should have my own earnings so that I can spend on my own. See, Vedic culture was not like that. In my home, my mother has more property than father. She's a housewife. So whenever there's a fight in home, earlier they would never fight. Nowadays, in old days, they're fighting somehow. So my mother says, no, this is my home. No, I can go out of the house. So what happens is, Western culture is, man has his own account, woman has his own account, her own account. So then what happens? Women is fearful. If I don't work, what will happen to me? In India, that culture was not there. Men would go out and earn and put money in the woman's account. So then there's no question of insecurity for the woman. No? And also, so we have to see the complete picture. From economic development point of view, women should work. And that is why multinational companies are putting that pressure even on the government. See, in a family, you have, let us say, 2 kids, 1 husband, 1 wife. 4 people are there. Now, man alone earns, then the people who are contributing to the economy are 25%. But if husband and wife, they work, then it becomes 50%. And government will not get the taxes more if both husband and wife work. It's like double of the taxes. Then only 1 person working. So then what happens? Such a thing is promoted. But main question is, if we are working only for economic development, where is the question of family? Family means there has to be wife, there have to be children, and there have to be kids. Not that no, you come in the night and nobody is there, and the wife is coming after you, 2 hours after you, more tired than you. And then no, you only cook. and children are being taken care by some maid servant, then there is no question of family. So there is a pleasure which comes from money, but then also there is a pleasure which comes from family life. So people are very, what do we say, selfish. So when they want to make profits, they just try to inculcate a culture where women are promoted to work. Like there are many colonies in, at least I know about Hyderabad, I don't know in Bangalore. Companies have their own colonies where there is flats for the employees. Those flats have no kitchen. So they have a mess, really a mess of life. And people, husband, wife, they come, they work from day to night, and then they just go and eat in the mess. So there's no culture of eating food. Again, in many countries like Uganda, there's no culture of cooking. Both husband and wife, they work, and they spend their so much of money in eating food. And all these hotels are owned by the Gujarati people. So Gujarati are the richest people there. Because nobody cooks in the home. They have to eat in the hotel only. So they make nice profit out of it. So anyway, what can be done? Let us come back to Bhagavad Gita. Okay, not eighth. Asattam apratishtam te jagat ahoranishwaram aparaspara sambhutam kim anyat kama hechukam. Please read.
Hare Krishna. They say that this world is unreal, with no foundation, no God in control. They say it is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So they say that the world is an illusory conception based on falsity, asatyam. There is no, many times this Mayavadi they say that Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya, this world is Mithya. Based on falsity, apratishta. It has no basis like flower in the sky, Akash Pushpa. That it's without creatorship of a controller, since it is false, Aniswaram. There's no control of this world. Because it has arisen from nowhere like entities from perspiration. It hasn't arisen from a cause, aparaspara sambhutam. What else can be said? Its cause is just according to the desire of those who propound theories. Kam hai chukka. So they say that world arises from illusion. So this one meaning. So there are Mayavadis who also come in this picture category. So they say that no, this world is mithya. But then Prabhupada says sometimes they're very expert in enjoying this mithya, enjoying this falsity. So certainly this philosophy was propounded by Shankaracharya purposefully on the instruction of Lord Vishnu. So it happened once with Shankaracharya. The Shankaracharya was, he went to Varanasi and he defeated all the Karmakandi Brahmanas there. Because Karmakandi Brahmanas, they got trained in Varanasi. And Varanasi, in those days especially, now they have this corridor, etc., by destroying so many buildings. But if you want to take bath in Ganga, there are very small streets are there. Hardly one person can pass at a time. So Shankaracharya was going through one of those streets for taking bath in Mother Ganga. So that time he saw from the other side, one big, huge, powerful elephant was coming. And he knew if I move further, I have to go through the lotus feet of this heavy elephant. I will be punctured. So then he took a turn and he started running away. So then there was a Karmakandi Brahmana who was sitting on the terrace of the house. So he saw it and he said, Sankaram kim palayanti. Why is Sankara running away? Kunjaram mithya. This elephant, he's a mithya, he's illusory, he's not true. So then Shankaracharya said, let us be practical. And he says, Palayamiti api mithya. My running away is also mithya, it's also illusory. So the point is, this philosophy may be looking very lucrative, but then it's not practical. So world is not false, it is temporary. It's temporary. So they say it's like a dream. Even if you say it's like a dream, even then it's like temporary. Because when you have a bad dream, one does suffer. Suffering is there. Like no, last night, whole night I was doing Janmashtami management services. Really, when I woke up, I was feeling so tired. Because although I was doing management in the dream, but then that impression was there. So one suffers or one enjoys in the dream. So that effect is there. So how can we say it is false? And then another meaning is that it has no proof, no confirmation from the Vedas. This world has no proof, no confirmation from the Vedas, Puranas, or other sources of knowledge. Asatyam. The world doesn't arise from male-female interaction. Aparaspam sambhutam. It is born from speculation, kam hetukam. Or there, so this is also another philosophy, that this world is just an imagination, that's all. And there are people who are strongly, what do we say, atheistic. So they say that this world is born only of sex desire and there's no God behind it. So that's what Prabhupada's translation is. So then such people also, they are demonic. So all these different philosophies are there. So the Sunyavadis who say there's nothing in this world, everything has become a chance. There are Mayavadis who say that this world is false. And there are atheists who say that no, there's no other reason for creation of this world other than lust. So different philosophies. Yes, Sitaram.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So here you are saying that it is like a dream or it is like an illusion. But there are so many people. So when you collectively see, like, how do we understand? Like for everyone, it is an illusion or dream, or how is it?
No. So I'm saying that they say means Mayavadis say that it's like a dream or illusion.
Yeah, I'm asking from their perspective only. Like,
Okay. See from their perspective. Yeah. See for them, even other people are also illusory.
And for others also, we are illusory. Like.
For others, I am illusory. Like in the dream, we may see some person coming and running towards us. He's illusion. For you, you are seeing another dream, and you are seeing all illusion in that. So it's not like collective dream. From scriptural point of view, it's a collective dream. This world is called the dream of Mahavishnu.
Okay.
In that sense. Okay. Yes. Paramananda Vrajkumar.
Yes, Hare Krishna. So here in the translation, Prabhupada's writing, they say it is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. So what reason they will give that how this universe come into existence? So many like planets are came into existence, stars are came into existence, sun and moon are there. So they simply, if they say that because of sex desire, this world came into existence. So what about other things, bro? How they are came into existence?
So for that, there are different philosophies. Philosophies in the sense that, let us say, they have a philosophy that Big Bang was there.
So Big Bang it is from scientists. So even they are also as per Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter. So some of the scientists are called as Asuri Bhava. So no, not Asuri Bhava. Their mind, their knowledge was
Maya Pratyana.
Really, Maya. So and they are also one type of answer. Scientists also there.
Not all of them, atheistic ones. Not all of them are atheistic. So, yeah. So what is your question?
So that's what their reason of how this world has come into existence. Only by sex desires say, okay, so men or women are living entities will come into existence because of that. But what about so other planetary systems, stars?
That is always happening automatically. So they say other things are happening automatically. As far as we are concerned, we are born from sex desire. There's no someone who is doing things under a supervision. So they don't believe in a higher power. So they say everything is happening in the nature, and nature is the highest thing. They don't understand that there is someone who is behind that nature. When you say nature, the question comes, whose nature? So that they don't believe in.
So is it like that they say that it is by chance? This all happened as by chance?
Yeah. It's like there were a lot of random things which were happening, certain things happening systematically by chance, and that is how this world came upon. So chance theory is the most popular theory for them. So this is the exact place where we differ from them. We say nothing can happen by chance, and they say everything happens by chance. This is the exact difference.
Even the theory of evolution. Darwin
Evolution
is-
also, so he says for him also evolution means things evolved, but by chance. There are a lot of wrong things which happened, but somehow there were probabilities where right things happened by chance, and those things evolved into a further arrangement.
Even Prabhupada wrote life comes from life. So generally Prabhupada wrote because of these things only Prabhupada has written this book, Life Comes from Life. So generally these scientists, they thought that this life has come from chemicals. So but Prabhupada has proved, so life has come from life. It is not originated from the union of chemicals.
So that's why the Prabhupada repeats, and that's wherever we don't agree with them. We agree that wherever there's a design, there's an arrangement, there has to be a person behind it. That they don't believe in. So that's exactly where we differ from them.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So Prabhupada has spoken so many lectures against it. For me also the first book was Life Comes from Life. The first book which I read after coming to in contact with devotees. So if we see, Prabhupada's even translations are directed towards that direction. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has written it more from Mayavadi's point of view. Prabhupada has written more from the atheistic point of view. A lot of people have that sort of atheistic conception. Nowadays, things are a little better than what were there in Prabhupada times, actually speaking. Because the reason is, in those times, atheism was purposefully promoted during the Second World War, especially by the communists. So that's why those who were educated people in the previous generation, they were more atheistic than the modern generation. So all sort of weird conceptions and education was given to them. So that's why then that time things were much more demonic than currently. So there is a good amount of impact which ISKCON has laid, and also that with that time things have become more favorable. I will go to the next one. Did I answer a question? I don't know whether I was able to understand. Yes, thank you.
Yes, Mike.
एतां दृष्टिम् अवष्टभ्य नष्टमानो अल्पबुद्धया प्रवन्ति उग्रकर्माणः क्षया जगतो अहिता. Please read.
Right. Following such conclusions, the demonic who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world.
So some of these asuras are lost souls. Nashtamano. They have very little intelligence. That's why small things they don't understand. Like when cow slaughter ban was going on, one lady was saying that, lady reporter, you are killing plants, you are killing animals, so why not kill cows? Why to discriminate? But then some of the people were saying, don't you discriminate while drinking a cup of tea? When you take milk, you don't take milk from Why don't you take milk from pigs and dogs? Why do you take milk only from cows and buffaloes? So if that time you discriminate, why not discriminate now? So that is how, such people, they have very little intelligence. They don't have very strong arguments to give. Then they're violent. So generally they do a lot of meat eating. They're too much engaged in meat eating. Like if we see at the time of Ramanujar, practically speaking, whole of the South India was so religious. But nowadays, so much of prevalent meat eating is there. Even those who are even traditional Sampradaya people, many of the people are deviated. They have started eating meat. Especially those who are in Hyderabad. So they are corrupted by Nizams. So then violence. So violence comes in. Now, so that's why their namesake Sri Vaishnava, they're actually not Sri Vaishnavas. They lost the culture. But genuine people are also there. They are still following that culture. But I'm talking about those who have deviated. Then doing whatever they want. Yeah. So whatever they desire, they do it. Whatever is favorable for sense gratification, they do it. They don't consult the scriptures. And in this way, they themselves lead a very hellish existence. So they themselves are not very happy. You must have seen people who are into drugs, they drink liquor, etc. They generally have so much of emotional turmoil without any problem. They would cry for hours together, get into depression without any reason. So they suffer like anything. So that is how they lead a very hellish existence. And especially Prabhupada talking about Ugra Karmana. Ugra Karmana means painful work. So one can lead a life very simply. But the way demonic civilization is, they want to make everything so difficult. Like nowadays, people, software engineers, they work for so many hours continuously. So spondylosis, etc., is a very common disease among the software engineers. So backaches and spondylosis, etc. And what to say of people who work in different places where high temperatures are there, like manufacturing places. So such high temperatures are there and one has to work for that. So because of that competitive environment, what has happened in India now is that people are forced to work in very unnatural circumstances. Even in the business, I remember our elderly people were telling in our town that in their generation, like our town is known for grain merchants. So they would sit together, they would be doing Ram Katha. And customers come, they send them to any shops because there was not so much competitive spirit was there. But nowadays in the new generation people, they don't even sit in their shops. They stand in their shops just to see that even a single customer should not be missed. So such an environment is there. Oh, come here, take from my shop. Don't go to the shop. So things have become very much painful. Earlier to survive, it's not very difficult. Like Prabhupada would say, survival is not so difficult. You have a cow, a hut, and a field. You can survive as a grasta. Not that no one has to work so hard. And those who are not successful, many times they get into depression, they get heart attacks. So then all these troubles come. So Ugra Karmana, painful work. Or those who are into construction companies. Some of the construction companies, they allow you just to faint and lie down. And as soon as you come to your senses, again you have to work. So some of the companies, they really make personal work so hard. And further, he talks about that. कामम् आश्रित्य दुष्पूरं दम्भमानमदान्विता मोहाद् गृहीत्वा सद्ग्राहान् प्रवर्तन्ते असुचिव्रता. Please read.
Hare Krishna. Taking shelter of insatiable lust and absorbed in the conceit of pride and false prestige, the demonic, thus illusioned, are always sworn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So asadgrahan. Asadgrahan means they accept fake doctrines. What to say? They sometimes promote fake doctrines just to get their things done. Like if you see modern education is not without independence. There are corporate companies, they want employees for themselves, they train them in that way. Like mechanical engineering became very popular after the Second World War. But during that time, all the countries wanted weapons. So then they want a lot of people to work on the machines. So then they were like training the people for years together, they would be educated to become mechanical engineers. So when we are taught mechanical engineering for so many years from childhood, and that is promoted, all the people want to become mechanical engineers. Similarly, when somebody wants to even sell the products, even the researches are not truthful, they are biased. Because they are funded by the companies. Let us companies want you to do a research on your let us say, for example, a toothpaste. So the research has to be that you have to find scientific good qualities within the toothpaste. So then the research papers have to be made. Okay, this toothpaste has all these good qualities as well. Or this sort of paste is made, then all these good qualities are there. And they say, no, we are selling that paste, which is recommended by the scientific paper, scientific journal. So many times things are biased. It's not like so clean, so crystal clean, or so transparent. So I don't know how much it's true, but one of the, I won't tell the name now because I'm talking something negative. One of our sannyasis from ISKCON. So he's well educated in very big university in the West, which is known for research. So you are telling that there are few set of people there. They decide what type of fashion should be there, what type of fashion means what type of clothes people should wear, what type of education has to be there, what type of advertisements have to be there. Because they want to snatch the money from the entire world. They want to snatch the communities from the entire world. So then that is how 10-15% of the population is enjoying the 85% of the resources of the world. So that's like something petty demonic, and people don't understand. We do have gadgets, but sometimes we don't have basic amenities also. We don't have fresh water, we don't have fresh food, fresh air. Although we have laptops and mobiles and all these things. So that is how. And then asuchivrita. Asuchivrita means unclean vows. Unclean vows means, now there was one very famous politician, and he became chief minister. So he said that we'll have flood of liquor in our state. So that's what asuchivrita. People will die because of liquor, but he wants to promote liquor because liquor industry gives a lot of taxes for the government. So they want to promote, he wanted to promote liquor. Okay. So these are qualities. And what is the result of that? Result of such demonic qualities? That's given in 11th and 12th. Chintam aparimeyam cha pralayantam upasrita kamopabhoga parama etavat iti nischitah. आशा पाशतेर बद्धा काम क्रोधा परायणा इहन्ते काम भोगार्थम अन्यानेनार्थ संचयान. Please read.
Hare Krishna. They believe that to gratify the sense is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, until the end of life, their anxiety is immeasurable. Bound by a network of hundreds of thousands of desires and absorbed in lust and anger, they secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. Hare Krishna.
So pralaya antam, until death. Till that they have lot of unlimited thoughts, unlimited desires are there. And they are convinced that the only purport of scripture is to enjoy and not worry about anything. And most of the people don't even care for the scriptures also. So Prabhupada is writing that physician cannot prolong life for a moment also. But then they have so many desires to enjoy. Like Prabhupada once telling he seen one businessman. So it is, I think, before India got freedom, at that time when India got freedom. So he had 3-4 wives and 7-8 children. So he had settled almost all the children except one of them. So he wanted to have a separate business for this child also, and he was about to die. And he was telling the doctor, please prolong my lifespan for some time, so that I settle my child and then I want to die. Doctor said, I can't prolong my lifespan. How can I prolong your lifespan? Not possible. So then such people till death, they have so many desires. And because these unfulfilled desires are there, one has to take the next body. That's the whole reason. So if one has only desire to serve Krishna, then one will get a spiritual body. One will not get a material body at all. Because spiritual body is meant for serving Krishna. You can read second paragraph of this purport.
The demonic person who has no faith in God or the super soul within himself performs all kinds of sinful activities simply for sense gratification. He does not know that there is a witness sitting within his heart. The super soul is observing the activities of the individual soul. As it is stated in the Upanishads, there are 2 birds sitting in one tree. One is acting and enjoying or suffering the fruits of the branches, and the other is witnessing. But one who is demonic has no knowledge of Vedic scripture, nor has he any faith. Therefore, he feels free to do anything for sense enjoyment, regardless of the consequences.
Yeah. So ihante kam bhogartham. One does impelled by lust, one does all these things. So because such people, they don't think that no, there is someone above us. There's someone who's seeing, who's witnessing all the activities. Prabhupada had such a conversation from his teacher when he was in Scottish Church College. So he heard from the teacher, that teacher was saying that you people talk about witness, Paramatma. But then, who is the witness? We have not seen such a witness. When I am doing something wrong, who is there who is seeing it? So we don't believe in things like no Paramatma who is witnessing. Nobody witnesses. There's no witness. So Prabhupada said, I felt very hurt at that time. I felt very pained. So he was saying that these are demonic people. So they have all these. And how do they think is given in the next verses. So let's complete this verse also. Idam adya maya labdham imam prapse manoratham idam astidam apime bhavisyati punardhanam aso maya hata satrur hanisse chaparanapi ishwaro ham aham bhogi siddho ham balvam suki adyo abhijanavan asmi ko anno asti sadraso maya yakshe dasyami modasya iti adyan vimohita. You can read it more on a dialogue format, like a drama.
The demonic person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future, more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him, and my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man, surrounded by the aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So you'll find that now in outside world, people brag about their victories in this world, even if they may not be like very rich people. Oh, Swami, you don't know how much I struggled and this and that, and I have done this, I have done that, I have settled this, I have settled that. And sometimes you will find even a small person sitting on the street, he would tell that no, how Prime Minister of India should govern the India. He's not doing in the right way. So that's the demonic nature, where people think themselves to be very accomplished and themselves to be perfect. So these are a lot demonic mentalities which people have. So they don't have any conception beyond struggle for material existence. Kurvanti dukha pratikaram sukhan manate grahi. If they are able to counteract the miseries very nicely, they think they are very happy. So they don't know that beyond fighting with unhappiness of this world, miseries of this world, there is something which is spiritual also, the spiritual world. They are not aware of that. So then these are demonic mentalities. And further we'll continue in the next class. So we'll end here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Sri Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande.